So then on this side, what did I say? I said there. And there. If we do that, then this side, hmm, interesting. What exactly do we do here? What exactly do we do here? At the windows? No, because this one, there's no windows on the bottom one. On the outer corners? But there is no outer corners here. Hmm. So let's say at the windows on the side, which I suppose I should go like this and come down from the top. I mean, there can be something there as well, except it's an odd number, so it doesn't really line up well. Not odd number, it's an even number. So you can't get one central bit. I mean, that looks kind of okay. Right, like that. Well, on the other ones, I didn't have it on the ground floor. The lighting. I do kind of like how bright that is. But like the streetlight's right there, which is a bit strange if we... But what if we did it anyway? Oops. Right? I kind of like how excessively bright this is. Extravagantly bright. Like we're spending way too much money on lighting. Something in the middle as well. Before I decide, we're not gonna have any lights where the walkway is, right? Or maybe we are. Right, so there's that. Let's get up there, see what it looks like. Oh yeah. Why stop there? Well, I mean, the reason to stop there is the idea is to have these things visible from a distance, but since this building is blocking this anyway, you're not gonna see it from a distance. So now this is not for seeing anything from a distance. Now this is just for lighting. Nope. Are you serious? How did it get up there? It fell upwards? It's very cool. And in the back of this... So either... So there are like one there, one there, one there, and one there, maybe? Maybe. How would I do that? Hmm. That's a bit much, isn't it? That's unfortunate. Is that crazy or is that awesome? That's kind of awesome. Getting like Hong Kong vibes. Where the streets are so narrow that the signage from the two sides of the streets touch each other. Because you have a narrow street and there's signs everywhere. And the two sides, they just overlap each other. And you can't see anything. Ah yes, Hong Kong. What a mess. However, this whole place reminds me of Akihabara. Yeah, and Hong Kong. Tokyo definitely is like that sometimes. Alright, I do want to add on the other side of this. It'll be behind this thing, but because this thing is glass, I can't put that there because it's a step. Because this thing is glass, you're gonna see through it, right? Maybe. So we said, uh, nothing there, I suppose. Japan, Kyoto. Like a lot of this stuff, it's the consequence of town planning. Not really the consequence of like architectural technology or, you know, architectural styles, but town planning, believe it or not. Planning rules and tax rules. Have I said this before? In Kyoto, in Japan, uh, land tax was based on the width of your street front. Because the idea is, okay, the government pays for the roads, and so if you're building, you pay for the road in front of your building. That's your tax. Okay, cool. But then, as land prices became expensive, in order to minimize taxes, you try to have a very, very narrow street front. So, so in Kyoto, all the properties end up being, this is like ages ago, like pre-industrial times, as you end up having like really narrow properties with a very narrow street front and it's very long at the back. And so sometimes you see these Japanese houses, these kind of narrow houses, and you're like, why on earth would they do that? It's because of taxes, actually. Taxes, of all things. So architecture is not really, it's not always about technology. It's not always about art. Sometimes it's about taxes. And you end up with narrow houses. Okay, how's it look behind the glass? Can you really see it? Not really. The glass doesn't do what you might hope. Okay, so that's the that's the flower block, flower factories. The honey stuff? What happens with the honey stuff? I guess we put a number of lights around the front. Where do we put it though? 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't really fit. Two, three, four, 5. I mean, imagine doing archaeology, right? And you find houses, find really narrow houses, but you don't have the historical record. You don't realize it's about taxes. How would you interpret that? What would you think? Like you dig up some thousands of years old ruins and you find these houses with really strange shapes that don't make any sense. How would you know? You wouldn't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like you would never imagine that it was like taxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't really fit either. I might just leave like that. That's fine. And then above that, oh, I suppose I should put lights here as well.